Hello, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Kwiklawak. I am the Youth Program Director for the Youth Program at CALC, Community Alliance of Lane County. I would like to thank the ACES group for trying to help TALC and CALC survive these tumultuous times. We are two organizations that do nothing but humanitarian work. We step in where social services do not, and we help out our community at all times and in all ways. When people ask us what it is that we do, we tell people, what is it that you need? CALC, for the last 60 years, has been working for the liberation of our most marginalized groups in our community. Right now, a lot of nonprofits are struggling to survive this regime, this fascism. So I beg and I implore you to dig into your pockets and to give and donate and to save these two organizations so we can continue to do our humanitarian work. Thank you so much. I would like to quickly report what's happening to the immigrant community in our local community. First, I'll start off with Lane County. Lane County leadership has demonstrated commitment to keeping Oregonians safe. In this political moment, it is important for the safety of all Lane County residents that Lane County publicly reaffirms its commitment to being a welcoming community for all people, including people from immigrant backgrounds and trans and LGBTQ alike. We encourage the Lane County Board of Commissioners to make public statements reiterating their commitment to Oregon state sanctuary laws. We encourage the county to make other educational and public engagement oversight for law enforcement. We recommend the activation of a public accountability advisory board and ask that the county take steps towards initiating this. So we have a local ICE Eugene field office. For a lot of you that don't know, it's right over here on 7th. Not many folks know that it's right there, and we demand access to the ICE Eugene field office. This is essential to safety for our whole community. Prior to the pandemic, attorneys and allies could accompany community members to their ICE check-ins. The access has been restricted and must be granted in order to support community members as they show up for required appointments with ICE locally. Local elected officials may have some oversight power here. We recommend reaching out to your local electeds and speaking up. Ultimately, it is a procedural decision that seems to be made by the Department of Homeland Security, but worth raising for the safety of our whole community. It's important that people understand that sensitive locations for ICE is opened up. ICE can now enter schools, places of worship, hospitals, protests, weddings, and funerals in all state and city locations. I would ask those of you that have the heart that brought you here today, those of you that have entitlement and privilege, use it for civil disobedience when you come across these illegal altercations. I would ask that you use your privilege like a shield to defend those that are most marginalized in our community. Right now, Congress is considering a bill, H.R. 32, No Bailout for Sanctuary Cities Act and to Defund Our Communities Act, a dangerous bill that will cut critical federal funding to communities in more than 24 states, including Oregon, simply for upholding Oregon values and refusing to comply with Trump's mass deportation and detention agenda. The last thing I'm going to be speaking about is going to be detention centers. We do not want to perpetuate modern-day slavery. So, detention center is a business and is a practice of terror. Immigrants taken into custody here will be transported to the Northwest Immigration Detention Center in Tacoma. It's already at capacity for the last 2 months. We need to make sure that we get around fighting for the detention rights of all the people that are there. So please check out the Northwest Immigrant Rights Project. They are directly fighting for the rights of all these people. Having dehumanization experiences in the detention center, and those that volunteer to work, can work, to do laundry, manual labor, all for $1 a day. So for 8 hours, they only get $1. At the end of that week, they can buy a commissary ramen, but it will take them 5 days to buy that one commissary ramen. We do not need to perpetuate this kind of slavery. Last thing, I work for Community Alliance of Lane County. I beg and I implore you to stand up and help us survive this summer. We are doing everything we can to survive. Please allow people like me to continue to do humanitarian work. Without my community's involvement, we will perish. Please help us help you. Thank you.
Jacob and Elliot! It's like we're a band or something, the Jacob and Elliot band. I'm 1 second, and then Elliot is going to inspire you. I'm going to try to get your money. A little tiny group of us got together on November 14th and said, what are we going to do to save our lives? So far, we've created a sanctuary law for Lane County and had it passed by the commission. We forced them to at least question the man they named sheriff. Our tiny band has done so much with nothing. Now we need to step up and help the trans people in the other parts of the country that are not as safe as we are here. We need your money desperately. If you do nothing else, fund us and KELK today. It's important.
Hello. My name is Elliot Harwell. I'm a spokeswoman for the Trans Alliance of Lane County. I'm really glad to see you all here today. If you're anything like me, you're here for two reasons. And the first is that you're very deeply angry. I wake up every morning and there's this fury inside of my chest. And it claws up into my fingers, and I want to strangle the beast that my government has become. We've watched for months as President Trump has torn away every single part of what our tax dollars pay for in the federal government. Institutions that exist to keep you safer, to keep you healthier, to protect your rights are gone now, because President Trump decided that they needed to go away. And no one has been stopping him. It continues to take and take and take and take. And then we've watched as men like Stephen Miller supercharge ICE into a goddamn Gestapo. They are coming into our towns and our cities, and they are grabbing your neighbors off of the streets and making them disappear. It doesn't matter what documentation they have. Doesn't matter what they believe. All that ICE cares about is the color of your goddamn skin. And then they make your brown neighbors go away. And at the same time, they're making certain that your queer neighbors, your trans neighbors, are denied access to health care, have their rights stripped away. The thing is that no man is an island, and the things that are happening to your brown neighbors and to your trans neighbors and to your Muslim neighbors and to your immigrant neighbors, all of that is happening to Americans. It is happening to people who live here in this country and call it home. And it's going to be happening to you soon. It's already happening. The things that we have taken for granted for decades in this country are gone. And the things that we have to do now is that we have to fight for this. And that's the second reason you are here and I am here. Isn't just that you're angry, it's that you're doing something about it. No kings! No kings! No kings! The Community Alliance of Lane County has fought for our rights for 60 years. The Trans Alliance of Lane County has existed only for 9 months, even less. We have come together, whether it be decades ago or be it this year, to fight the same fight that we all want to be fighting, and that is to create a world and culture and a town where our rights are protected and where people can live the lives they deserve to be able to live with the rights that they deserve to have, to dress how they want, to live how they want, to believe how they want. Yes, we have to protect our neighbors. Every one of us is a neighbor to someone else. The only way that any of us are getting out of this is if we do it together. And the thing is that the people in power, the federal government, Trump, Stephen Miller, Elon Musk, they want you to feel powerless. They want you to feel as if you are completely alone. They want you to feel that anger inside of yourself and then to feel despair and for that anger to not motivate you and to drive you to do great things. And now it's time we tell them no. No kings. We take back the rights and we take back the government that we are owed and that we deserve. The Trans Alliance of Lane County and the Community Alliance of Lane County worked for months to convince the county commissioners to pass a new commitment to our sanctuary laws. Oregon has had sanctuary laws since 1987. Those sanctuary laws are as old as I am. They are part of who we are in Oregon. They keep our neighbors safe. They allow our undocumented neighbors to work and live without fear. We also asked the county to expand those protections to cover trans and queer people. Because I don't know about you, but I don't like seeing in the news a van pulling up and unmarked masked men hopping out of it and grabbing someone off the street. And if they can do that to anyone at any time. And it's terrible. Together we work to have our county commissioners reaffirm its commitment to those laws and to expand them to protect your other neighbors. But the fact of the matter is that it's a great accomplishment, but it is also paper. It is words on paper, and the only way that we are able to have those words have strength is through you, through all of us working together, talking to your local representatives, talking to your local government, showing up, not letting them allow ICE to operate in this town and in this county. What we are facing is a cancer of fascism that has taken over every arm of our government, and it is taking from us the lives and the rights and the peace that we deserve. And in this moment, we have to keep fighting, and sometimes those fights are big and sometimes those fights are small. Together, we have to be committed to protecting each other. We have to be committed to raising our voices. We have to be committed to expressing and using the rights that we are guaranteed under the Constitution. And we cannot allow our elected representatives to take those away. And so we might not be in Salem, we might not be in Washington, D.C., but we're here in Eugene. And together, we need to keep ICE out of here. We need to protect our neighbors, and we need to help each other. My name's Elliot Harwell, and I'm a member of the Trans Alliance of Lane County, but I'm also just a resident here in Lane County. I live here. This is my home. And I'm very, very glad to have you all as neighbors. Because I'm just one person. I can't protect myself. I can't do the things that need to be done to make my life a safer and better thing. But together, we can make each other safer. Thank you. No kings! No kings! No kings! Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you all for coming today. Since January, the Trump administration has rolled back critical environmental protections, opened up forests for clear cutting, laid off government employees stewarding our natural wonders and doing critical research on climate change, and continued the genocide and ecocide in Palestine that is causing horrifying levels of human death and environmental destruction. And his so-called big beautiful bill that he's trying to ram through Congress was described as the worst bill ever for the environment by the League of Conservation Voters. We must stand up to this. Unfortunately, our local institutions aren't doing enough to combat the climate crisis either. Eugene is woefully behind on its climate targets, and the state of Oregon's policies lag behind what is necessary. Even the U of O continues to delay climate action and remains the largest source of emissions in Eugene. So we must fight the federal rollback of environmental policies and show Trump that we won't stand by and watch him torch our world. And we must pressure Eugene and Oregon to implement the climate policies that the science demands and the people deserve. We must also support indigenous calls for land back and push back against the ICE agents shattering our communities, since people can't enjoy the outdoors if they or their family members are being kidnapped. Their fight is our fight, and all immigrants deserve solidarity. There is so much to do, but I see how many of you there are here today, and I know what we can accomplish. So please, find ways to get involved. Keep showing up to protests and support others doing so. Join local groups working to protect our environment and improve our community. Organize your workplace to demand more from the institutions with outsized environmental impacts, and more. Sometimes it's hard not to feel a little hopeless. To combat this demoralization, let's imagine the world we can create. Imagine salmon swimming in rivers free of dams. Imagine loving fire instead of fearing it. Imagine fresh air that's free from fossil fuel pollution. Imagine being able to take fast public transit everywhere you need to go. Imagine being active participants in how we steward the land. Imagine low-income communities and people of color having increased access to outdoor spaces instead of increased exposure to environmental harms. Imagine not worrying about whether your favorite places will be lost to climate catastrophe. Imagine being able to soak in our wonderful world and not worry about how you will stretch your budget to feed your family. Imagine being able to go outside and truly enjoy it. We can build this better world. We can overcome climate change, environmental destruction, and every other crisis they're linked with. But we're going to have to fight hard for this world, both in the streets and behind the scenes. We won't beat Trump with protests alone, so we need to get organized. So, if you want to see this world, if you want your friends and your family and your children to see this world, let's get to work.
My name is Sadie, and I am a Jewish student at the University of Oregon and an organizer with Jewish Voice for Peace. Throughout this school year, our chapter has continued to pressure the university to end its complicity in the ongoing genocide by cutting its ties and investments in companies profiting from our and directly responsible for it. Our university has made it a point to suppress and silence student activism on campus by pursuing code of conduct violations against students exercising their right to free speech, including the threat of suspension and expulsion for peaceful protests, implementing harsher sound policies, and ignoring the demands of students, faculty, staff, community members, and alumni. We have seen a 700% increase in code of conduct violations filed against students since the University of Oregon Gaza Solidarity Encampment took place last spring, a clear representation of the university's true values and priorities. Boo. Currently, after spending 20 months committing genocide in Gaza, Israel has launched a major illegal bombing campaign in Iran that could easily escalate to a global conflict, all with the backing of U.S. government and our tax dollars. The United States government is not only deeply responsible for these attacks and the ongoing genocide against Palestinians, but also silences and perpetuates violence against those who advocate for Palestinian rights. It is crucial that we do everything we can to end the violence and attacks against those in our community under Trump's presidency who are vulnerable, because regardless of who you are, what you believe in, or the communities you represent, this repression and violence will make its way to all of us if we do not commit to the fight now. Students, faculty, and staff at the University of Oregon recently completed a 17-day hunger strike campaign, which was symbolic of the 17 years Israel has imposed a blockade on Gaza. This hunger strike aimed to bring attention to the fact that food is being used as a weapon of genocide to control Palestinians. Israel continues to use aid as bait to target people who are in dire need of clean water, food, baby formula, and medical attention. I fasted during this hunger strike for 7 days because I find it disgusting that this genocide and starvation is being carried out in the name of Jewish safety, and claims of anti-Semitism are wrongly weaponized against anyone who speaks out for Palestinian freedom and self-determination. As a result of this hunger strike, we were able to collectively raise over $1,000 for 13 families in Gaza and the Middle East Children's Alliance. We achieved a 5th scholarship for a student from Palestine to come study at the university here and continue what they were doing before the genocide. And we have received a written agreement to maintain UO status as a sanctuary campus to protect international students. Although we did achieve some material wins from this campaign, the struggle is far from over. We must continue to fight for the safety of Palestinians, Black and Indigenous people of color, immigrants, and queer and trans people as we see the rise of fascism and imperialism across the globe. Those in power believe they hold the cards for our future, but the future is in the hands of the people. In our lifetime, Palestine will be free, immigrants will be safe wherever they go, and we will see the fruits of our collective liberation come to life. Thank you, and free Palestine.
Please welcome to the stage, from Lane County Immigrant Defense, Jasmine!
Hi everyone, my name is Jasmine and I'm an organizer with the Party of Socialism and Liberation and with the Lane County Immigrant Defense Network. I'm a first-generation Mexican-American born to 2 hardworking immigrants. My parents came to this country, specifically LA County. They came here in the late 70s because they, like so many others around the world, believe that this is where they come for more job opportunities and to make money, the so-called American dream. And while it is technically true that the US dollar is worth more than the Mexican peso, the cost of that dollar is far greater. What my parents didn't know, and what a lot of people don't know, is that the reason other countries are quote unquote poor and seek refuge here is because of the United States. It's because this country sends its military, its money, and its ideals to other countries in an effort to exploit their resources, their working class people, and uses our tax dollars to kill innocent families and children, and then criminalizes them when they try to come trying to escape their war-torn countries. Yes. The U.S. funds wars all over the world, not in the name of freedom, not in the name of the working class. No, they send it in the name of profits, in the name of cheap labor, in the name of capitalism. And corruption will always be an inevitable result of capitalism, because profits will always be more important than people. I think we've all heard about the recent attacks Israel made on Iran, and the U.S. previously claimed that they had no part in that decision. But we all know that this war is only possible because of U.S. funding. This attack, the attack on Palestine and so many others, would not be possible without the full financial support of the United States. This government continues to send what seems like an unlimited amount of funds to Israel to launch attacks against civilians, yet claims that we don't have enough to help our own citizens right here in the U.S. We have a big, beautiful bill that will be cutting funding to Medicaid, SNAP, climate protection, and student loan relief. We have a president spending $45 million to throw himself a little birthday parade. but blames immigrants, LGBTQ people, and other vulnerable communities for this country's huge deficit. He blames social programs and woke ideas for all the country's problems, turning working class people of one group against working class people of another group. His objective is to divide and conquer. His objective is to get rid of the checks and balances that are trying to stop him from ripping this country apart. He so desperately wants to be a dictator, going as far as putting a damn poster of himself in the front of the Department of Agriculture. Typical dictator behavior. 47 and his entire regime are a direct result of a system built on capitalism, built on imperialism. Those maniacs all think they have unlimited power, but we must prove them wrong. So I encourage you to get involved and organize. Join the Lane County Immigrant Defense Network. Join the Palestine Contingent or any other of the wonderful organizations that are doing the good work around here that you believe in. This is your time to be on the right side of history. This is your time for a chance to tell your children or grandchildren or nieces and nephews or the kids down the street what you did in the face of fascism. This is your time to make history. Today, and for as long as we have to, we say no to a wannabe dictator. We say no to a wannabe king. We say no to mass deportations. We say no to wars in our name. And we say all power to the working class people.
Welcome, Victoria Acosta.
Good afternoon, familia. Let's speak the truth. Being brown in this country should not be a crime. But for too many of us, every day it feels like a battle to just exist. We're followed in stores, questioned at airports, stopped on the street, and when it comes to immigration, we're hunted, caged, and silenced. Let's be real, this system was never built for us, and when you're brown and undocumented, or even just look like someone who might be, the fear is constant, the trauma is deep, and the injustice is everywhere. We see our people packed into detention centers, treated like animals, mothers separated from children, workers exploited, and kids growing up afraid to answer the door. We work the hardest, we get paid the least, and we're still called a burden. But here's the thing, we are not victims, we are not weak, we are not invisible, we are powerful. We are the ones holding this country up, planting crops, cleaning the hospitals, building the homes, teaching the kids. We are the heartbeat of this nation, even if it tries to forget us. When politicians talk about border security, they mean us. When they say illegal, they mean brown. When they say send them back, they're not talking about fairness, they're talking about fear. But we're not going anywhere because we deserve to live with dignity. We deserve to raise our families without fear. We deserve to walk these streets like we belong because we do belong. This part's really important, so I need everyone to listen. Our skin is not a weapon. Our language is not a threat. Our existence is not illegal. So today, we demand more than a reform. We demand respect. We demand representation. We demand revolutionary change. We want pathways to citizenship. We want ICE out of our communities. We want justice. We want justice for every brown life pushed to the margins, locked in detention centers, or lost at the border. And we will not be silent anymore. To every brown immigrant, to every undocumented soul fighting to breathe free, you are not alone, you are loved, and this fight is yours. We are rising, we are unafraid, and we will not be released. Chinga la migra. Thank you.